In this lecture, I am going to show you how to create a Facebook cover. Now, Facebook covers have always been a little bit tricky to design because their dimensions are changing regularly, but also, and most importantly, because they have slightly different dimensions on mobile and when you look at them from a desktop computer, or a laptop computer, from a computer in general. So knowing that, we need to be conscious of these different dimensions and apply certain rules to our visuals, to our design, so they look good both on mobile and on a computer. So knowing this, our first, I would say, instinct would be to go to the social media part of Canva here, like the types of documents, scroll down and see the Facebook types of documents and just go for a Facebook cover, which dimension is 1640 by 924 pixels. Now, if I open such a document, I can see that the height of the Facebook cover is very big, and it's way bigger than what we will see on a regular Facebook page. So this is Fairtrade Connections Facebook page, and you can see that the visual here is not as high, like the height of the visual is not at all similar to this huge height here on the page. So I am actually not going to be using the preset document that Canva has for me. I'm going to go back to the home page and I'm going to use a custom size document, okay? So I'm going to keep the same width, so 1640, but for the height of my document, I'm going to type in 720, make sure I am in pixel, and click on create a new design. So now Canva will create a document that looks more like a Facebook cover to me. And I do have a bunch of different templates here that I could use as well. But this time I'm not going to start from a template. I'm going to start from scratch. And I'm going to keep it simple, okay? I've been observing different Facebook pages. For example, one of them was IKEA. Okay, so I went to the IKEA page, filter by pages. Yes, I went to IKEA because it's a huge company and I wanted to see how big companies do it. So this is their cover. As you can see, there is a simple sentence at the center of the visual, and this looks good both on a computer, but also I checked on my mobile phone and it looks very centered and enough spacing, enough padding on each of the sides of this sentence. I do have a sentence which is approximately the same length. This is also why I was inspired by this photo. So a single photo or visual that looks pretty cool here, and a sentence which is centered in the middle, more or less, of the visual. So let's go ahead and create something similar for our Facebook cover. Okay, so let me come back to my design right here. One of the things that I also learned from doing some research, but also trying and failing and trying again, is that some safe zone will apply, okay? So I'm going to first design this blank canvas with some guides, but also some rectangles that kind of set the boundaries for my safe zone here. So the first thing you will notice is that I have turned on the rulers and the guides. So in order to do this, go to your File button right here and click on Show Rulers and then Show Guides. If you have a little check mark here, it means they are already activated. And you see them here. You see the rulers and I can grab and create a guide. Okay, so what I've learned is that on each of the sides, there is a kind of like a part of the design. So let's create a rectangle. I'm going to click on the R key in my keyboard and create a rectangle. So on this side of the visual and on the other side as well, there is a zone which is 180 pixels wide. Okay, so my rectangle, you can see, I can see the width of my rectangle here. I want it to be 180. So it's hard for me to do it at this level of zoom. So I'm going to zoom in simply like this with my sliders, my zoom slider here. And now I need to snap this at 180 exactly. Okay, it is now 180 pixel wide. I'm going to Command C, Command V, this rectangle, Okay, and I'm going to zoom back in. So I'm going to fit and make sure this is snapped to the extreme right part of my design. Okay, so these two columns here, these two parts of my design are not going to be very visible on mobile at all. So you won't see this bit of the image from your mobile because the mobile screen is kind of brought back to the center of the screen, so you won't see this part on a mobile. All right, so I'm going to give these rectangles a specific color from my brand style guide. So going back to the brand style guide, let's select, for example, this blue right here. I'm going to copy the hex code, come back to my design, and you know what? I'm going to bring my style guide very close to my design here. And then click on the color button and create a new color, paste the hex code, and there you go, I have my blue here. Okay, I'm going to paste that with the copy style button to this other rectangle. Perfect. Now, maybe I can add a text box here that says only visible on desktop. Okay, and this is actually 180 pixel wide. Okay, so this text right here is just indicating that this part of my design is only visible on desktop. This is going to be useful, trust me, bear with me here, because at the end of the lecture, you will have this guide that you will keep in your Canva document that will help you create your future Facebook covers, because a Facebook cover is bound to be changed from time to time. So what I'm doing now is that I'm grabbing from my ruler to grab a guide, and I'm going to snap it exactly at 180. You see here on top, it says 180 pixels. So that's great. And I will do the same right here at 1460. But I know that there are 180 pixels until the end of my designs here. Okay, so when I create a new page, you will see these guides visible as well on the second page, which is great. Now, there is also kind of like a special zone at the top and at the bottom of this Facebook cover that will only be visible on mobile to make things a little bit more complicated, right? So, and these bars are going to be, let me Command C and Command V, this bar right here again, and I'm going to bring it up. And the height of this bar, let me change the color as well for some purple. So the height of this, oops, I moved my guide without wanting to move it. So let me just move this out of the way for now. And I'm going to stretch it all the way to here. So I was saying the height of this should be 48 pixels. Okay, so I'm trying to get to 48. Again, same problem, I need to zoom in. So there we go, zooming in, and now going for my 48. And there, okay, 48, can now zoom back to fit. All right, so I will give this a bit of transparency so we can see the other one, like let's say 70. Perfect, so we can see the intersection here. And I'm going to copy this text box, stretch it, okay, and like so. So only visible on mobile this time, and this is 48 pixels high. Great, maybe I can bold the dimensions so it's easier to see. So for that, I'm just selecting that part of the text and pressing my Command B for bold. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the keyboard shortcuts. So again, selecting 48 pixels high, and then Command B or Control B to bold things. All right, so I'm going to copy this rectangle here. So I'm going to this time hold my Option key down. I believe on a PC is your Alt key. So you hold it down and you grab, and that will duplicate the element. Okay, and now all I have to do is to bring a new guide here and a new guide here, and we are good to go. So this here in the middle is your safe mobile and desktop zone. So here, everything within this this zone right here is basically safe, both on mobile and on desktop. Okay, phew. Now that I know that, look at this, I have my guides. I am ready to design my Facebook cover. So first I'm going to rename my document. So this is my Facebook cover, Fairtrade Connection 2022. Okay, perfect. You can rename your document whatever you like, but if you, like me, created this template, I would suggest you name this Facebook cover template, for example. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm going to start designing. Like I said, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to have a sentence in the middle and then a photo, a well-curated photo. We have a lot of photos. That's one of our strengths with Fairtrade Connection because we were actually taking photos. So I believe we sit on 5,000 different photos that we've taken. We are selling photos also with Fairtrade Connections. So indeed, it is a big advantage that we have. We have all of these beautiful photos. So I went ahead and found the perfect photo for this cover. I will show it to you in a moment. But first, let's deal with the text, the sentence. Okay, so I'm going to press my T key one more time, create a text box. And this time, I'm going to go for my fonts from my brand style guide. So again, the main font is Railway Heavy. So I'm going to press on Railway Heavy here. And I'm going to have it on size 48. Okay, size 48. I'm going to make sure this is in the middle of the page, like so. And I'm going to start typing my tagline here, which is bringing you the artisans' stories. Bringing you the artisan stories. Okay. So this is what I will have in the middle of my page. I can see some nice padding on both sides, kind of like the IKEA visual. Let's go back to the IKEA visual. Yep, it's kind of similar. This sentence is slightly shorter, but it's going to be fine. There's not going to be any issue with that. So this is my tagline. Now, all I need to do is to go to my elements, find a grid. Okay. Going to apply the grid to my entire visual right here. And now I can go to my uploads and I will show you the photo I selected. So I decided to work with this photo of Diana in the streets of Dhaka. And she is like with her camera, she is taking a photo. There is some nice movement, blurry movement in the background. Really like this photo. So this is going to work very well. The only problem is that if I have my sentence in black here, it's difficult to read. It's not legible, and I really want people to immediately understand what this photo is all about. So I need to make this sentence more legible. So one way of doing this is to apply a background effect. I'm a big fan of the new background effect. This is a relatively new feature in Canva. So I'm going to click on the text first and then on effect. Okay, effects. I'm going to go for the background effect. And this is what you will have as a, I would say, as a default. You might have a different color. I'm not sure why Canva is showing you this bright yellow color. Might be so that it's very easy to read. But what I will do, two things. First, I will get rid of the roundness. I want this to be like a straight edge rectangle. And second, I'm going to change this color for one of my brand colors, obviously. So going back to my style guide, I'm going to try this, this dominant fuchsia color first. So Control C here to copy the hex code and back to my visual. And I'm going to change it by creating a new document color. There we go. And now I need to change the color of my text. So it's not here. This is the effect of my text. To change the color of my text, I will go to the top nav bar here and click on text color. And I'm going to make this text white. Okay, now I have this, which is pretty cool, but I would love to see a little bit of the camera behind the text. So I'm going back to my effects and I can add some transparency with my last slider right here. You see, I can add some transparency to this background. I'm going to go for, let's say 80, because I still want quite a bit of color, but I also want to be able to see what's behind. So there we go. I think I'm pretty much set with this. if I look at the safe zone, let's collapse the object panel for now to have a really good look at what's inside the safe zone. So I do have the entirety of the bicycle rickshaw here. Like this is the back, this is the seat of the rickshaw, you see, and I have almost everything inside the safe zone. So that's good. I have the people here in the background. I have Diana, obviously, all the way to her forearms here. So this is probably going to work really well both on mobile and desktop. All right, there is only one way of knowing if it works or not, is to download this page number 2. Okay, so I'll rename this Facebook cover 2022 and try it. Like I will upload this to Fairtrade Connections Facebook page and see how it looks both from my computer. Then we'll switch over to my mobile phone and see how it looks there. So to download your visual, just click on the download button, okay? And then I will choose PNG. For the size, I will leave it as such. I will not compress anything. I will just make sure I am downloading page 2 only. I don't need my guide. Okay, click on done and then download. And there you go. Canva has downloaded my visual and I am going to click on that visual right here that has been downloaded, show in Finder. I will grab this and put this on my desktop for now. Okay, and close this window, close this window, close this window as well. Okay, so let's go back to Facebook and change the Facebook cover of Fairtrade Connections. So I will click on Fairtrade Connections page. There we go. And I will edit this cover. Okay, upload a photo from my desktop. Yes. And I will upload the photo I just created. There. At this point, Facebook asks you if you want to drag to reposition your photo. I will not change it because it should look good like so. So I'm just going to click on Save Changes. And I'm going to refresh the page. So this is how it looks on my desktop computer. It looks pretty good to me. I like that we are matching the color of the logo here, the avatar, with the background behind my text. I love the framing of everything as well. I have the people there, I have the rickshaw, I have Diana here in the middle, kind of like on this lower third of the image. So it looks great on desktop. All right, so we've seen that this cover looks great on Facebook when I look at it from my computer, right? But of course, the ultimate test would be to look at it from a smartphone, okay? So let's do that. I'm just gonna grab my phone and I'm gonna go to Facebook and find Fairtrade Connections Facebook page. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my pages, find Fairtrade Connection right here and see how this profile picture looks from a mobile. So there we go. We see that the cover looks great. I have everything in it, nothing is cropped, and I also have enough space to the left and to the right of my text box. So I think we did a pretty good job here with these dimensions. So that's it, guys, really. If you want to have a look at this visual in real life, you can head over to Fairtrade Connections Facebook page and have a look for yourself. And that's it for this lecture. In the next one, we will be designing a Facebook ad. Woohoo!